All right, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons here for a little bit. Look, obviously, everything involving the Falcons this offseason seems to have been geared around the quarterback position. Of course, the acquisition of Kirk Cousins, then selecting Michael Penix Jr. in the first round in the draft, obviously got a lot of attention. And some people were very critical of the Atlanta Falcons in terms of doing both, signing Cousins to a big deal and then drafting Michael Penix Jr. But those people were short-sighted and those people were incorrect because there's more than just trying to get a franchise quarterback. There's more than just taking a couple shots just to see if you can get one guy. It's also the impact culturally on your locker room and your team that really matters, and we are seeing that with Kirk Cousins so far. Let's pull up the latest article, then we'll talk about it more in detail on the other side. This is courtesy of the Cold Wire. While it's early on in the offseason, it appears that things are going well thus far. Talking about Kirk Cousins. According to Cameron Wolf, people within the organization have told him that the Cousins presence is making a night and day difference in the building. This is critical for the Falcons' growth moving forward, especially considering the fact that they've invested significant first-round draft capital into their offense over the past several seasons. They took Kyle Pitts in the first round of the 2021 draft, Drake London in 2022, and of course Bijan Robinson in 2023 last year. All three of these athletes have the potential to have special careers in the NFL, but to this point, they haven't found the right quarterback to help support them. It will be interesting to see what the Falcons look like next season with Cousins at the helm. Early implications seem positive, and after watching him elevate Justin Jefferson on the Vikings, that's an important fact right there. This should bode well for the Falcons pass catchers and skilled position wide receivers. I think this is an important point here that we are forgetting, most people are forgetting when it comes to Kirk Cousins, the cultural impact, the ability to elevate these young guys and change the environment in Atlanta back to winning ways. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Falcons fans, in the comment section below. Obviously, the schedule was released a little while ago now. You've had a chance to digest it. What matchup for the 2024 season, game, week, team that you are really excited for more than any other? There's a lot of great games on the Falcons schedule, a lot of exciting matchups, but we're going to make you pick one. What matchup are you looking forward to more than any other? And put it in the comment section below. But Mice, give me your thoughts on the news you're hearing involving Kirk Cousins and what he's doing with the Falcons organization thus far.
Yeah, Nick, I think when we take a look, I think you brought up a really important part that I didn't really think about too much first, is the young players that have been brought onto this Falcons team and what could happen to them if they didn't have a day one leader who was ready to go come in and kind of turn this team around before we get potentially Michael Penix to step in at a quarterback position to see what he could do. There's a lot of expectations on a young player to come in. And you named the guys, Bijan Robinson, you named Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. Mainly the one Kyle Pitts is the one I think is the example of what could happen. You look at Kyle Pitts, his rookie year, he was one of the most dynamic, exciting tight ends in all of the NFL. He had an 80.3 PFF grade. Everything was good in 2021. 2022 takes a little bit of a step back, 72.7 PFF grade. 2023 takes even more of a step back. He's just mundane at that point, 68.1 PFF grade. And he's a guy that we all know has this incredible athletic ability. But he's not performing on the field, and I know it's because the carousel of quarterbacks that have come through and really not helped him perform on the field. Because when you're catcher of the football or, a playmaker, you need someone to deliver you the football. And if that person is not adequate, I think it has a big impact on how your career is going to be. So, in comes Kirk Cousins, a guy we know can feed stars to the football. We've seen what Justin Jefferson has done. We've seen the younger rookie wide receiver from last year doing a lot of great things. We've seen the Dalvin Cooks of the world when they're with Kirk Cousins, when they're without Kirk Cousins. This is a guy who can get guys the ball that need the ball and really help guys perform. So I think the culture shift you talk that Kirk Cousins brings is so important because I want to see Kyle Pitts turn his career around and really be that superstar we thought he could be. I want to see Bijan Robinson keep going and not take any step backs like Kyle Pitts did. Same thing with Drake London. I want to see this team succeed because they have so many stars. I think it's so important to get Kirk Cousins, like you said, not just because you can't get upset. There's deeper meaning to what Kirk Cousins brings to this team than just being a quarterback that they brought in on a big contract. This is a guy they hope turns the team around and then, if it works out, inevitably hands it over to someone in really good shape.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's not just this report. There have been a bunch of reports. SI.com has highlighted Kirk Cousins having a huge impact as well already in the Falcons locker room. And it's so important to understand. People just assume you throw in your young quarterback, potential franchise guy, you've got young weapons, you win a lot of games, you win championships. That's how it works. That's not how it works in the National Football League. You have to go and look at the Kansas City Chiefs as a great example of this. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, the two Hall of Fame receivers, tight end and receiver that were with Patrick Mahomes when they won, had that early run of incredible success. They had a lot of success before Patrick Mahomes even arrived, before he was a starter with Alex Smith. Right, Travis Kelce came to the NFL with questions. He missed his first season. Tyreek Hill was a late round draft selection who came to the NFL with questions. You have Alex Smith as the starter, veteran, great leader, good distributor of the football, builds up playmakers, knows how to execute the offense, allows guys like Kelce, Tyreek Hill to develop. They're ready to become superstars. You enter Patrick Mahomes and suddenly the Chiefs are a dynasty, right? That is the formula. That is the model. Right, you look at the San Francisco 49ers, as dynamic as they've been, and as much people really hate on Jimmy Garoppolo with them, and obviously it was not a perfect quarterback. The reason the 49ers brought Garoppolo in for what they did years ago is because they needed stability at the quarterback position. They needed a veteran. Eventually they'd replace him with a newer model. They tried Trey Lance, and now they've got Brock Purdy, but they wanted to bring in a veteran guy who could help elevate the young talent they had, the Deebo Samuels of the world, the Kittles of the world, to help them become stars, to win games, and then eventually replaced with a younger quarterback to help them push them over the top. That's how it works. That's how you win championships in the National Football League if you're trying to restart and reverberate your culture. This is why it was really smart by the Atlanta Falcons doing what they did. I don't understand the criticism people are heaping on Atlanta. I understand, people are like, well, they needed a pass rusher. I get it. But guess what? If you have Kirk Cousins and a pass rusher, there's not really that much difference. But if you have Kirk Cousins and potentially your franchise quarterback for the long term, that could be the difference between winning 10 games maybe and winning a Super Bowl, right? This is the model. Bring in a savvy veteran guy, a leader to change your franchise, to turn it all around. Allow your young guys to develop. Allow Kyle Pitts to be a star. Allow London to become a star. Allow Bijan Robinson to become a star. And suddenly everything will fall into place when you're ready to insert your young guy, whether it's Michael Penix Jr. or someone else. This is the perfect strategy. It's the right move to make. And Atlanta fans, some of you may be disappointed by how it's all shaked out so far in terms of what they did in the draft. Don't be, right? You're doing smart things. Terry Fontenot is doing a good job. Raheem Morris is doing a good job. They're making the right decisions. And I trust me on this. You will see the rewards for this eventually, because we've seen it happen before. Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, heck, even the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts, right? This is the way to do it. Atlanta Falcons deserve a lot of credit. Smart strategy here.